Oh boy, oh boy. Well, yeah. Yep. That was something. Alrighty, welcome in to the PHNX Rising post-game show. Appreciate everyone joining us tonight, this afternoon, whatever. Phoenix Rising with a 0-0 draw against Hartford Athletic away. Gosh, man, this was just a absolutely pretty sleepy performance, so to speak, right? Owen and I were talking before we kind of got on here, and we've asked, is this the low point of the season? We kind of surmised no. That was Danny Stone and parting ways after that horrendous match, but we dare say this might be a close second. I am Max Simpson. I'm joined by, of course, the man on the ground, Mr. Owen Evans. Owen, how are you awake right now?
That was an interesting performance overall, I think, to say the least. Look, from Phoenix Rising's perspective, you're coming up against a team who are third worst in terms of goals conceded in the entire league. And you register, in the end, I think they've credited them with 3 shots in target in the end.
Don't know how.
It was pitiful. Neither team was doing a whole lot of anything. I think it was a good old-fashioned snooze fest. That was bad. I will say I predicted 0-0. And Ryan laughed at me. Ryan Sikora, if you're watching this, you laughed at me for saying 0-0. Who's laughing now? It's not me, because that was pretty abysmal, and I'd rather not have watched that game. But
I remember I told you beforehand, I believe either earlier in that day on Wednesday, I'm like, yeah, I predict a draw. Foolish on me to predict 4 goals between these teams. Goodness gracious. I mean, yeah,
it was pitiful. It was
rough.
I think what we witnessed today was just the kind of performance where you think, do either team really want it? Look, again, it's why you've got to be careful when you come out with certain comments and you come out with certain quotes and you say things like, right, these boys are frothing at the mouth and ready to go kind of thing. And you see performances like this, and again, right, it can be lazy to say the boys don't want it, but I just saw nothing out there that would indicate any real originality of thought, any real imagination in there, any real, quite frankly, from either team, competence in the attack. There was nothing. I mean, I kind of said it on Twitter for people. I think Hartford overall were just, wow. They were just inept, I think, for a lot of that game. Okay, it went beyond just the idea of, were they finishing, and it was they were making decisions that it just felt like there was zero awareness of where anyone was around them. They were giving the ball away in stupid areas. And then Phoenix Rising just didn't work the ball into dangerous spaces whatsoever. And so that's what you get. Look on the positive side, Devin says. 7th shutout of the season. Yes, but against one of the worst teams in the league, Devin.
That's our eternal optimist, Devin. But he also contrast, and we'll shout out everyone in the chat. We got Devin earlier comment. Listen, when you're at the point where you're saying England 0-0 games are better than a Phoenix Rising 0-0 game, listen, you're down bad. Dare I say more? It's not.
I don't really know, and this is the thing. Okay, we're gonna have to make a whole show out of this game, and probably another one in midweek. And I just look at it and think I'm not entirely sure what to make of it, because it was just, they offered nothing. It was pitiful. It was truly embarrassing, to be perfectly frank. I look at this team and I do see some talented players there, and I see nothing ultimately coming of it. And it's just seriously just disappointing. I think we said last week, and there was the whole positive vibe to an extent coming off of the El Paso game, and people kind of willing to say, okay, maybe this is the turnaround point, maybe. And I mean, I was always very negative about that. As me negative, never.
Never, not you.
Never. But I said, look, we've got to be seriously thinking about, that was a poor team they played against. That you can't just assume, well, they got a result against a bad team at home, therefore, wow, Rising is back. And you got to think a little bit deeper than that. But once again, I just, wow, it's
bad. I mean, listen, I said it after post game, right? Of last week, of like, in a way, right? Two things can be two things at once, right? That you can have some momentum, even if it is this one that's kind of a bit off of a poor team. Momentum can help spark things, and you know what? You'll take it or you can get it. And then on the other hand, it's right. You have to be wary that could be a false promise against a team like that. And if you come across a good team, that momentum, I'm not going to say it's not going to get you anywhere, but it's something where it may not take you as far as you want to go. Now, that's against good teams. You're playing against a Hartford side. They have the third least points in the league. Again, if you're looking at it by comparison, the only teams with less points in this league are Miami and El Paso. And congratulations, Rising. Beat the one last week at home. They weren't able to get it done here. Listen, we can say the formula all you want to, right? Oh, you win the matches at home and you draw the ones on the road. And they've technically done that in the last 2 weeks. But man, that's stretching it, and we're not that flexible. So listen, it's a tough one. The way in which that they go about it, you're mentioning just how poor this Hartford team is. It's not like this was a thing where Rising could not find the back of the net, where they were just grinding and there was just a ton of chances and it just wasn't their day, right? You don't want to see that happen, but at least there's something, maybe you can pull a narrative out of it. I don't know a narrative you can pull. Even the oh, hey, it's the 7th shutout of the season. Hartford, for as bad as Rising was, Hartford was even worse. We will get into the numbers in a little bit, but
we will.
XG for this match, what combined for both teams, was less than a penalty, which is point.
It was bad. It's terrible. It's just wow. Wow. I think, again, you just get to the point of looking at this and just thinking, okay, how are you really fixing this? What's the next step? Where's the, again, I mean, today, all right, yeah, if you have someone like a Remy Cabral available, maybe it changes things a little bit. But I don't know. It's still not really enough, is it? It's not enough. It's especially given, I think, again, we need to be clear. A lot of people are thinking, all right, okay, you've got the Charlie Dennis move in, things are going to be on the up. There are things that are going right for Phoenix Rising now, good signings. Again, it's just one of those things where, from a Phoenix Rising perspective, what's the way out of this position that you're in right now?
Yeah.
Because, I mean, either you need new additional players, or you need to sort out the coaching vacancy, or you need to, I mean, again, right? I've mentioned this on the midweek pod. This club is at the brink right now of hosting a single playoff game in 4 years, and none for 3 years straight. That's where this club is at right now. Yeah. And quite frankly, this season, they may not make the playoffs right now. This team is more talented than not making the playoffs. But it's still just poor.
It is. I mean, listen, right? Again, the thing that we keep going back to, this is not a talentless team, right? There is a lot of talent in a lot of key positions. Again, we're not going to say it for the millionth time. There are clearly ones. Cough number 9. There it is. Fine. There's a reference of places where there's missing. But right, Charlie Dennis, you mentioned he had some plays early on in this game, but I think what we've seen and what we kind of feared into this is he a guy that can come and make a difference? Yes, he can. But who else is surrounding him? Who is playing in front of him? Who is playing off of him? And I think that's the answer that we got today. And it's kind of disjointed. That is our answer. It's tough, right?
I just don't know what the
I don't know, man. We keep on scratching our heads. There's pieces that are being brought in around this club, but nothing is really clicking in a way that's going to be a tremendous difference maker. Yes, you can say this club needs patience, it needs time, and that's all well and good. Again, this is not the same issues as last season where they are failing to finish chances and that the averages will weigh out. This is the team's average. This tonight's match, this is closer to the team's average than last week was, as hard as it is to hear. And last week was not a flawless performance. This is closer to what this team's average is. It's hard to see, and I know a lot of fans may not like this. We're not even trying to be downers, man. That's just what it is. You're not getting a ton of multi-goal performances out of this club. You're not getting a ton of dynamic flexibility. The fact where the first shot on target was not till the 54th minute in this match. Unfortunately, that is closer to what this team is than what you saw last week. And again, both weeks against really poor opposition. It's tough, man.
Indeed.
Stuff. We're down bad. You did have, right, because we're talking about
all right, there's over 50 of you in here now, by the way. Shout out to everyone following along.
Shout out. Let's go.
To hit the like button. Even if you dislike the football, you can join in the collective venting.
You can like us. We appreciate it.
We have a great time. Yeah. But yeah, we might as well. We'll kick off. Just get the overall thoughts from Diego after that game.
Well, I think it has been a very tight game with no big chances for both teams. So I think both teams defended well the box, and both teams have a little bit more troubles in the attack in the final third generating.
All right, so we'll start with the positive. The one positive for Rising, they defended all right, to be fair. I mean, partly I think that was Hartford again. I'm not being nasty when I say I thought Hartford on the ball were inept. I mean, I just saw them giving the ball away every time. Like, just there was one moment it happened. I was sitting here and it's right in front of me. I think this was when they were defending this end, and the guy's just looking around. He doesn't even know where the ball is. That's a summary of this game at the moment from Hartford Athletics' perspective. They were just so out of it, it felt at times. And that's almost what, again, makes this result more disappointing. Okay? If you go away from home and get a 0-0 draw against a decent team, that's an all right result. But this team, they didn't even look that good on the night. It felt like in a lot of ways it was there for the taking if you just had that little bit of competence in the attack. And from Rising's perspective, we just didn't see that at all. We didn't see anything. I mean, how many opportunities did Rising get where you thought, "Oh, goal might be coming here"?
Truthfully, I'm going to go with one. Honestly, it was the long
The
ball.
one.
It was the long ball over the top from Renzo Zambrano to Juan Carlos Azakar, and I said it. That was really the only chance in the game. Not only that was pretty substantial, but if you think about the passing and what they had, was the only one that was varied. This team, I think, is so allergic to going a little bit more direct, and the one time they did it, it actually produced their best chance. Is it a perfect strategy? No, but this team's too predictable.
No offense to Juan Carlos Azakar, he's not the person you want to be on the end of that shot.
Yeah.
That's the problem, right? You don't want him to be in that position and be, the one who's taking that pivotal shot. And it honestly became a pivotal shot because they didn't do anything else. Nope. Speaking of them not doing anything else, I asked Diego a little bit about what their struggles were in terms of actually creating chances. So let's have a listen to what he said about the problems with the attack.
Well, I think we needed to be more brave a little bit in some moments in the final third. Go more against the opponents, circulate the ball a little bit faster. So those are the things that I think that we could do better and we need to improve for next games.
I don't disagree with him. I think, again, this club does need to be a bit more brave. I think you need to be able to take shots. And, I mean, yeah, you want to be able to take the highest quality shots you can, but take some from range, soften the defense, try some through balls in, try some over the top. At least you're trying something. I mean, I would even go a step further. I don't think it's just bravery in the final third. I think you need some bravery in the 18-yard box. It's just not there. It's just not there.
I'm just not seeing a whole lot of anything right now. Once again, right, Rising against El Paso had its moments, but I said not to get too high off that result because I still felt as though, quite frankly, I didn't know what we'd have seen if that one Skiers header hadn't gone in. It wasn't as though Rising were bashing the door down and you go, oh, the goal was coming, the goal was coming. They weren't in that game. And taking a lead against a very bad team gave them that edge. Maybe if Rising had just had that little bit of luck, that little bit of bounce in the first half, maybe, and something had gone their way and they'd put one away, suddenly you could be in a very different position. And maybe they come out in the second half and they're a lot better.
Yeah.
With the Hartford team chasing the game more at that point. But that's again the critical part to this is just their attack is stalling at times. And they're not finding ways to take leads. And so they don't ever manage to build on that. They look at their best when they're up against a team usually that's, but it usually is one of two things. Either their backs are against the wall and they're having to try and fight their way out. We've had a few games where they do put a reasonable spell together because their backs are against the wall in terms of they're down a goal. They feel the need to just chuck everything forward. And they do for a 10-minute, 15-minute spell at the end of a game. Sometimes they can look okay as a result. They look threatening, even if it's just because all you're doing is just pumping it in and just trying to get on the end of something. Now, of course, that's not really a strategy for 90 minutes.
Right.
But again, how many times this season overall have you felt as though Rising have genuinely, I think, controlled the game in an aggressive manner? It's very few. It's very few. They just don't feel like a team that's going to come out and put several goals on someone. And they haven't for most of the season.
Yeah.
And nights like tonight just end up as the epitome of where this team is going wrong. In that you come to a poor side and you struggle in front of goal and you are where you are. I'll run one little bit of insight I did get. And it's not a whole lot of everything. Yeah, there were still doubts about those 3 players who were injured last week. They're still kind of hoping they might be back for next week, but then they were hoping they were going to be back for this week. So I don't know. We'll see, right? We'll see. We'll see.
Don't we always? Yeah, I think that's just it. There isn't an obvious solution for the team. And no, I mean, we've even said, I don't even think it's just one position away, although that would certainly help. I think that this team, we just don't know where the answers are going to come from. And I think that's the toughest part. One thing that I do think the answer for where to get quench your thirst is going to come from is, of course, our friends at Circle K. It is America's thirst stop. It is a great place to quench your thirst on a hot summer day such as this. Owen, is it humid out there in Hartford?
No, it's actually, well, it's really nice. The weather is really nice. Like, this is beautiful weather. It's not cold. It's not too hot. It's just nice.
There we go. It's nice here in Phoenix.
No, it's not, Max. It's not. It's not. It's just not, Max.
It's horrible. It's horrible out here.
Which is why you need a Polar Pop.
That is exactly it.
Cool yourself down.
Go get a Polar Pop. 79 cents, 69 cents. Nice deal for your Inner Circle members. It is that easy. Head on to Circle K. They have locations all throughout the valley, really all throughout the darn country. But check them out. Again, Inner Circle program. Save 25 cents off per gallon. Get that Polar Pop discounted. Go get a Polar Pop inside. Terms and conditions do apply at participating locations. See store locations for details. Also, of course, shout out our friends over at Valley Tap Room. 2 locations at Gilbert and Queen Creek. The Gilbert location, it's hopping. It's a good time over there. I've done the watch parties, everything like that. Nice little intimate spot. Again, as we say, we can always look forward to and reminisce at Spain saving football. So we got that for us.
They did.
They sure did. Whenever Rising's down, we always have that memory with us.
They saved football so we could have nights like this.
You know, it's a balance, right? As we all know, your soccer fandom, it's never going to go up here. There's always
Which is why you need a couple of beers before you watch a game.
That's exactly it. Valley Tap Room has those beers. They got the Four Peaks beers, and they got everything else in between. The other location, Queen Creek, check them out there as well. Again, 2 locations, Gilbert, Queen Creek. Follow them online at valleytaproom.com. And, of course, check them out on socials at Valley Tap Room. All right, Owen, listen, I think the theme that we keep on coming of is this was a very inept attack. And let's look at how inept it is in our By the Numbers presented by our friends at Desert Financial Credit Union, Arizona's #1 credit union, named by Forbes. Phoenix Rising.
Yikes.
Athletic 0-0. Guys, I alluded to it. Both combined XG was less than a penalty. Phoenix Rising 0.37. XG, Hartford Athletic 0.3. That is a total of, yes, 0.67 XG, less than a penalty. It's not good. Possession, relatively 50-50. 56 for Rising, 44 for Hartford Athletic. Shots, here we go. 7 shots for Rising and 6 for Hartford Athletic. And there was at one point that it was 1 shot on goal apiece. Somehow our stats are telling us it's going to be 3 shots on goal for Rising. I don't know where they got the other 2. And 1 on goal for Hartford Athletic. Again, Owen, this ain't getting it done. I mean, I don't know who this is getting it done against. It's tough, man.
Yeah. It's, again, for anyone, I know people are going to question the 3. That is the number that I'm currently seeing in front of me as well right now.
Don't know. Yeah, I don't know where they got the other 2.
I'm not sure what the 3 on target that came up were, but when the XG went down, I don't know. I don't know. I can't tell you that, but officially, though, that's the data.
Data crazy.
I have no idea. No idea.
We do
but
not
there you go.
know.
I mean, speaking of the penalty thing, right? And you brought that up then, the XG being less than a penalty. I'll ignore the first half penalty shot. It was weak. There's nothing there. That one at the very death.
Oh,
when
gosh.
Hartford won on a penalty. What do you think?
I want to see the chat chime in as well, but I saw, and I think I saw what a lot of the other people saw. I think the ref bailed us out on that one. Looked like a pen. Guy cut. Lawrence.
What I saw there was that Lawrence is nowhere near the ball and kind of steps
coming in from behind,
foot.
Impedes the progress. That's even a little bit. And even if it's a little bit, I mean, dude, he was late. It was no point of the ball.
I think they had a decent shout for one there, to be honest.
At that point, you're saying one of 2 things because he got nowhere near the ball. It's either it's a penalty or it's a dive, and I don't think it's a dive.
Sometimes you won't give that in terms of.
I know, I know, but
yeah, if you think he's not going to get to the ball, now it doesn't mean that you get away with it, but sometimes a careless challenge, even if the ball is gone, so long as it's in the penalty. Yeah. I think he got away with it.
Yeah.
It was pretty dismal. That could have been a much worse ending to this one. Again, contact made, no shot at the ball. Got him. Pat says, "Yeah, you're not wrong."
The first half penalty, I don't buy that at all. Right?
No, the first one was soft
contact. Guys coming together. It's a little bit of sandwich. Like would have been incredibly weak. The one to end it would have been honestly fair. And I'm not saying that. I mean, listen, man. I'm not
to the spot there. You can't complain.
And that's just it, right? I wouldn't complain. I'm curious, and maybe either he didn't have a good angle, and in theory it shouldn't impact things. But like, right, you kind of wonder maybe this is 5-10 minutes earlier. Maybe it calls there. I don't know. Just throwing it out there, but who knows? It was a lot of people not really admonishing Lawrence Weich's performance. I mean, right, even outside of that shout, it was just a tough one, right? I think a lot of the defense picked him up. I mean, Pat Marboy, again, you know what? I'll scrape for positives. I'll take a shovel. I'll scrape from positives. Pat Marboy, another solid performance. The guy, I mean, honestly, you're looking at very early on in the first half. He gets a header where he's kind of off timing, has to stretch for it a bit. That's a goal for Hartford if he doesn't get there. And yes, you can say it's routine, but he was in the right place, right time. And that's not an easy one, kind of drifting away. So he continues to be physical, maintain that high line, even saw a little bit better passing from him, going a little bit more forward. So something to add to his game. Again, Charlie Dennis, yes, gave a ball away a couple times, but I do think he adds something a bit to this midfield, I would say, at least compared to what they usually run with. And I mean, truthfully, yes, there's a couple other decent performances. I don't know. Like chat, they were throwing out some other people. Yep, JP did well, said Scott. It's just tough. Again, like this team, do they have a difference maker who can win them a game? Possibly, but it's just very inconsistent. It's very inconsistent from night to night. And that's the tough part.
I'm gonna address something the chat is saying here, which is a little bit off topic for today, and I'm not gonna go into full on depth for it. But I think it is worth addressing. And it's because it's gonna come up after games like this inevitably, and it's Panos Amanakis.
Sure.
Look, the way I look at this if I have to be honest with you, is this club needs to work out what they're going to do with him.
Agreed.
Because right now, you're leaving him in this purgatory of, is he ever coming back? Is he not? That was a question I asked to Diego Gomez, Rising's interim coach, on the press conference yesterday. We knew, obviously he told us literally no update in terms of for today, but was there anything in terms of the planning? Are they planning on reintegrating him or moving him on? It's time for this club to make up its mind and actually do something, be it reintegrate him or move him on. If you're going to move him on, just do it. Get it done. Because the longer that this drags on, the more negativity it's currently causing from the fan base, the worse this is getting. Just deal with the problem, take the hit, whichever way you're going to choose to go. Don't leave this to drag on and be a distraction for weeks. Because right now, that's what this is getting into. The club needs to make up its mind what it's going to do. You're bringing him back or you're moving him on. We'll debate, I'm sure, the merits of either choice for a period afterwards, but you can't keep ignoring it right now. And I don't want to hear some of the things about deals take ages to happen. If people want to make deals quickly, they make deals happen quickly. There are ways and means of getting it done. The guy's on one of the cheapest wages for the quality of player, I'm sure, in this league.
Right. 100%.
Let's be real. If you really want to move him on, I'm sure you can move him on. You may not get necessarily what you want back for him, but right now, keeping him here while you're just going to not use him at all is not helping.
I agree. And also, I mean, I would even push against the notion of, deals take time and all that stuff. If anything, I mean, sure, while they can, if anything, the longer you wait and you don't make a decision, the worse that his value can get perceived by other
It
teams.
does feel that way.
It does, right? It's either you make a decision, like make it soon. Give yourself clarity. Are you, to your point, you bring him back? Are you selling him on? Again, if you're looking at, like, if this club, if they like looking at things at times fair from a business standpoint or whatever, sell. If you're going to sell him, if you're indifferent, sell him now. Move him on now. Do what you can. It's harsh, but like at least you're making a decision and you're trying to recoup something. The longer you leave this in purgatory, to your point, does no one justice. It only makes things worse.
Exactly. And it's only making the negativity grow, it feels.
Yes.
How many times did we see every time they play? I mean, they play poorly in San Antonio. People jump in about that. Now, obviously, more stuff has come out. El Paso, you got away with it because you play well against a bad team. Now they play a bad team again and can't get the ball in the back of the net. And it's just reflexively the first thing people go to. You aren't making... I mean, if he remains just kind of there but not there, you're not going to move past this with the fans. They're going to keep moaning. Like, it just feels like it's a distraction. Just make your call either way. You're bringing him back or you're moving him on. It doesn't have to be this just awkward middle ground whereby you've not done anything. Yeah, there we go.
You're not wrong. There's no awkward middle ground when I'm choosing Four Peaks. That's the beer of choice every time. Check them out, right? The Badberry Juice Golden Ale, the Kill Lifter, the Hop Knot, the Hazy IPA, everything like that. Check them out. Again, the 8th Street Pub in Tempe, and of course, everywhere where you could find beer in the Valley. Check out fourpeaks.com for a little beer locator action for you there. Super easy to do. Of course, check them out on socials at Four Peaks Pub and at Four Peaks Brew to keep up with the latest and greatest going on in Arizona's hometown brewery. Guys, again, talking about Circle K earlier, it was hot. It's hot. Grab a Polar Pop. Grab Four Peaks at our friends at Circle K, at our friends at Valley Tap Room, at the 8th Street Pub, and yeah, cool off, right? It's getting hot out there. Enjoy a nice cold beer. Again, you must be 21 years or older to enjoy responsibly. Owen, this point, well, Phoenix Rising sit in the, I'm actually, you know what, Owen, you're going to be proud of me. I'm actually using the USL Championship
Using
website.
the League One this time.
Darn right. I am learning. Phoenix Rising, 9th in the West. They sit 1 point.
And that's before most teams have played this weekend?
That's correct. Yeah, they sit 1 point below Monterey Bay, who are on 26. Again, listen, if I'm looking at any sort of silver lining, and it's kind of picking at it, there are two things here, right? Number one, to your point, it's before teams play, and Rising does have a game in hand even before that on a lot of clubs above them. Second point as well, if you're looking at above, they are technically 4 points off of third. Okay. A lot needs to happen, and this club needs to start getting wins instead of draws. So listen, this conversation will inevitably go on. Phoenix Rising, the way that this is built, like, listen, man, like realistically, you really want an outlook for this team in the season? They can sneak into the playoffs. They can give some teams trouble. They can play this bunker ball-esque-ish type of style where they maintain possession. Maybe there's one clear-cut chance a game, and they could try to go to pens. And like, honestly, I'm not here for it. I'll say that, but like, it is possible. Now, that's the thing. That's not what this club aspires to be. That is not how they have marketed themselves. That is not how they have said things. They want to be able to host playoff matches. And
you remember the good days, Max?
You look at the path above, dude.
You remember the good days, Max?
Oh, gosh.
This club used to just demolish this league.
I know.
To be fair, the league standard has gone up around the board, and that's a good thing. That is a good thing. And I think that it would be incredibly hard to have the kind of success that team had in the early years. Back, I don't think you could do that again. I think that's incredibly difficult to do it in this day, in this league now as it is. But this is still a big drop off in these last few years. Yeah. Last year's run in the playoffs and elements of that season accepted as unfortunately being the way that this team has been trending for a little bit.
It is, and I mean, yeah.
Some cars having some fun over there. I don't know if you can hear it.
I can. That's why I made a face. I can definitely hear it.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, right again.
Doing.
Again, listen, like, and I get it, right? Like the club last season, they made memories, right? They had a run. They got hot at the right time. Is it possible? Sure. I don't know if it's getting hot at the right time. I think it's just staying lukewarm for long enough. It's a different club this year, man.
Hey, life could be worse. I don't know if
Oh.
people have seen the Northern Colorado rumors, but life could be worse.
Oh boy. Yeah, life could be worse. That's actually a nice place to kind of end it. You got anything else, buddy?
No.
Yeah, good man. I appreciate everyone joining us here. Oh, thank you. Yes. Wait. Okay. Gosh, I totally forgot Shane made a man of the match. Okay, let's see. We have okay. Well, first off, Shane, no free.
Is that a specific brand of?
Yeah, I already hate. Yeah, Shane. Well done, but also you suck because no free ads. But hell yeah, water. Without giving out the ad name, it's a water bottle, water fountain. There we go. Fills up your water bottle. What a nice guy.
Can I give a man of the match as well? If we can cut back to the camera now, just so we can show. I'm going to give it to this fork. There we go. This plastic fork.
Shane, screenshot that. That's going to be our next man of the match in case we need something. Thank you. All right.
Yeah, but it's kind of outdated now, you know?
Doesn't matter.
It man of this match. That thing helped me eat today. Yeah. Critical component.
Well done. Go get some dinner. Everyone else, appreciate everyone joining us here on the. Oh my gosh, this guy Shane, stop it! Appreciate everyone joining us here at the PHNX Rising post game show. Of course, you can follow us at PHNX__Rising because _.
No.
Yep. Okay, dude,
that went up twice, so I guess it's double the water fountain as well.
Okay, fine. Double the water. There we go. Oh dear gosh, you can follow me on Twitter.
They didn't have any sporks, Girly Man Pat. Okay, I had to deal with the fork.
Oh gosh, you can.
That's all they had. I'd have used the spork otherwise. They didn't have one.
You can follow me on Twitter at Max David Simpson. You could follow Owen on Twitter at OJ Evans 18. You can follow Water Bottle Boy on Twitter at Shane Deef. Let's see. Also, yeah, Shane's going on vacation. Wish him bon voyage, as they say. Yeah, guys, we'll be back to our normal Tuesday, Thursday next week. And then we're off to Colorado Springs for a little away fun. Again,
Max is going to Colorado Springs.
Taking a trip, folks. And we're making.
Rumor has it, if you track him down, he might buy you some beers before the game.
When you're ready to say cheers, don't forget Max is buying beers.
There we go. We had to get that one in. We've really hit everything tonight.
We really have. Every producer, I swear, that just has that on the ready, on the speed.
Well, no, it's just on there. It's just in there.
I know. It's a hot button. That's fair. All right. Well, appreciate everyone joining us again Tuesday, Thursday next week. Following us everywhere when we go to Colorado Springs next Saturday. Till then, it is a beautiful game, but it is way more beautiful when
this game doesn't happen.
You can go back to sleep now. Bye-bye.
We all silly like the mayor.